The end of a marriage can feel like the end of you. One day you're a husband, a partner, part of a team, and the next you're just adrift. Life feels like it's happening to you, not for you. Every small frustration hits harder, every memory cuts deeper, and your sense of identity feels torn away with the person who left. But what if that ending, that gut-wrenching collapse of everything you thought you were, was actually a beginning? What if it was the thing that could unlock strength, clarity, and peace you never knew you had? This isn't about just getting over it. It's about rebuilding yourself from the inside out, becoming a man who isn't defined by loss, but forged by it. In this video, we'll break down 8 signs that show a man has mastered emotional independence after divorce, not as theories, but as visible shifts in how he lives, thinks, and reacts. When you understand these signs, you'll see exactly how a man transforms from being a victim of his past into the architect of his own life. The before state, the story of Mark. To see what that transformation looks like, meet Mark. When his wife of 15 years told him she was leaving, it wasn't just a marriage that ended, his entire identity collapsed. Mark was Sarah's husband, the provider, the family man. When she walked away, that entire framework fell apart. In that first year, he became a ghost haunting the ruins of his old life. He'd wander through the quiet house surrounded by photos and furniture that felt like mocking echoes of a future that no longer existed. He was emotionally reactive to everything. A late bill sent him into a rage. A happy family photo on social media crushed him for days. His emotions owned him. Inside, it was worse. His mind replayed old arguments like torture reels, searching for the exact moment it all went wrong. He swung between anger, blaming her for destroying their family, and shame, believing he'd failed as a man. His friends tried to help, but he pushed them away or exhausted them with the same stories. Mark's entire emotional compass pointed toward his ex. If he heard she was struggling, a dark part of him felt satisfaction. If she was happy, it wrecked him. He hadn't just lost his marriage, he'd lost himself. The turning point. For Mark, rock bottom wasn't a single dramatic moment. It was a slow erosion of his spirit that finally broke one quiet night. He was at his son's parent-teacher meeting. His ex-wife sat a few chairs away, calm, composed, almost radiant. Mark, by contrast, looked and felt like a wreck. Tired eyes, crumpled suit, a dull ache from too much beer and too little sleep. He couldn't focus on a word the teacher said. His mind was consumed with reading his ex's expressions, trying to decipher whether she pitied him. As they left, his 10-year-old son looked up and asked, "Dad, why are you always so angry?" The question cut straight through him. In that instant, he saw himself clearly, not as a wronged husband, but as a man whose pain had become his identity. He realized he wasn't punishing his ex anymore. He was poisoning himself and the people he loved. That night, staring at his reflection, he finally saw a choice. He could keep drowning in resentment, or he could start learning how to swim. That quiet decision to stop fighting the past and start building his future became the line that divided his life into before and after. Sign 1. He accepts the past without being ruled by it. The first sign of emotional independence is acceptance. Not denial, not erasure, but peace with what was. A man who's still trapped sees his divorce as a wound that never closes. Every memory is laced with bitterness. Every thought about his ex reopens the cut. His identity revolves around what was done to him. The emotionally independent man rewrites that story. He stops asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and starts asking, "What can I learn from it?" That shift changes everything. Mark's therapist once asked him a question that stopped him cold. What was your part in it? Not to blame him, but to give him back his agency. He started to see that the story wasn't just a villain and a victim. It was 2 imperfect people, both blind in different ways. He saw where he'd gone emotionally numb, where he'd avoided hard conversations, where he'd chosen comfort over courage. That realization wasn't shame, it was freedom. He couldn't change the past, but he could change who he became because of it. Months later, a friend casually mentioned that Mark's ex-wife had been promoted at work. A year earlier, that news would have triggered days of resentment. This time, his reaction was simple. Good for her. Then he went back to planning a camping trip with his son. Her life was hers. His was his own. The past had finally released him. Sign 2. His self-worth comes from within, not from others. Divorce has a cruel way of hollowing out a man's sense of worth. For years, your value comes reflected through your partner's eyes. As a provider, protector, husband. When that mirror shatters, so does your identity. A man who's still lost tries to rebuild that reflection in others. He seeks validation from women, work, or attention. Anything that tells him he still matters. But every high fades and the emptiness returns. The man who's mastered emotional independence doesn't chase mirrors anymore. He builds a foundation. He redefines his worth from the inside out. For Mark, this was a long climb. He'd believed that a good man keeps his family together, and since his didn't, he was a failure. He dated again too soon, bragged about his job, tried too hard to prove he was still a catch. It all felt hollow. His therapist gave him an exercise. Write down who you are, without mentioning your marriage or your ex. He stared at the blank page for nearly an hour. Then, slowly, he wrote, honest, loyal, a good father, hardworking, curious. One by one, he started living those truths again. He spent more time with his son, really present. He called old friends, not to vent, but to reconnect. He dusted off his guitar, started hiking again. Each small act rebuilt him from the inside out. He wasn't performing for anyone. He was rediscovering himself. The proof came one evening when a relative asked if he was dating again, saying, "You don't want to be alone forever. You're such a great guy." The old Mark would have heard that as pressure. This time he smiled and said, "I'm not alone, I'm with myself, and I actually like the company." That wasn't defiance, it was peace. He no longer needed someone else to validate his worth. He had finally learned that his value was something no one could give or take, only he could define it. Sign 3. He masters his emotional responses. Before emotional independence, a man doesn't have emotions. His emotions have him. Anger controls his actions, sadness drains his will, and fear dictates his choices. He reacts to everything like a puppet pulled by invisible strings. The man who masters emotional independence learns to be still inside the storm. He doesn't suppress emotions. He observes them. He creates space between a feeling and his response. That space is his power. For Mark, this shift changed everything. He used to spiral at the smallest triggers. A simple text from his ex about their son could send him into a rage. He'd read hostility into her tone, fire back a defensive reply, and regret it hours later. Therapy taught him a process he practiced daily. Recognize, allow, understand, remember, recognize. Okay, I'm angry, my chest is tight. Just naming it gave him distance. Allow, he let himself feel it, without acting on it. Emotions are waves, they rise and fall if you don't fight them. Understand, what's this really about? Often it wasn't the text, it was fear. Fear of losing control. Remember, I'm not my anger, I'm the man observing it. That shift from reaction to observation gave him control. One day, his ex-wife's lawyer sent a hostile email. Old Mark would have exploded. This time, he paused, walked outside, and came back an hour later. Calm, centered. He replied with a brief professional message. No emotion, no bait. He'd gone from reacting like a wounded man to responding like a grounded one. That's emotional mastery. Not the absence of feeling, but the command of it. Sign 4. He prioritizes consistent, holistic self-care. After divorce, many men fall into one of two traps: escapism or neglect. They drown their pain in work, alcohol, or meaningless distractions, thinking they're coping when they're only numbing. The man who's emotionally independent redefines self-care as discipline, not indulgence. It's not about pampering, it's about respect. Small, consistent actions that rebuild his foundation. Mark's first year after divorce was chaos. Drinking too much, eating whatever was easy, sleeping badly. His body mirrored his emotional mess. So he started small. One promise: make the bed every morning. It was a single moment of order in a disordered life, proof he could keep his word to himself. Then came 20-minute walks at lunch, then workouts, then learning to cook. It wasn't about appearance, it was about control. He was reclaiming ownership of his body and mind. He also began caring for his mental state, journaling a few times a week, meditating for 10 minutes a day. He noticed that when he cared for himself, his emotions became steadier, his thoughts clearer. Self-care stopped being an emergency measure. It became his baseline. He no longer waited for crisis to act. He lived in constant maintenance. That's the hallmark of maturity. Not grand change, but quiet consistency. He learned that taking care of yourself is the ultimate form of taking your power back. Sign 5. He actively builds a life he loves. When a man's world revolves around his partner, divorce leaves behind a vacuum, empty weekends, quiet rooms, a future that feels blank. Most men fill that void with noise, TV, dating apps, scrolling, anything to escape silence. But silence isn't the enemy, it's the canvas. The man who's mastered emotional independence uses that space to build. He doesn't just kill time, he invests it in creating a life that feels like his. For Mark, the silence of weekends was torture at first. The house felt hollow, the quiet unbearable. But one day he asked himself, what did I love before I was a husband? The answer surprised him: woodworking. He went out to the garage, cleared the dust from his old tools, and started small, a bookshelf. His cuts were uneven, his hands rusty, but for the first time in years, he felt something rare: flow. Piece by piece, he built a table, a chair, then a new coffee table that fit perfectly in his living room. His house stopped being a museum of the past and started reflecting who he was becoming. From there, he joined a hiking club, took an investing class, met people who weren't connected to his old life. The sign of real mastery came when he stopped dreading weekends. He started looking forward to them as sacred. Time to build, move, breathe, explore. He no longer lived in reaction to loss. He was creating, not escaping. That's the difference between a man who's surviving and a man who's free. Sign 6. He cultivates authentic, supportive connections. Divorce often detonates a man's social life. Couple friends disappear. Loneliness creeps in. Some men retreat into isolation. Others cling desperately to anyone who offers attention. A man who's mastered emotional independence takes a different path. He builds real connections slowly and deliberately, not to escape solitude, but to enrich it. Mark's social world had collapsed. Most of his friends were mutual couples. Invitations faded after the split. The loneliness was crushing. At first he tried reconnecting with old buddies, nights filled with beer and bitter jokes about exes. It left him emptier. Then, one day, he did something terrifying. He joined a support group for divorced men. Walking in felt like stepping into judgment, but instead, he found honesty. Strong men admitting fear, anger, guilt. For the first time, he felt seen. Listening to their stories helped him stop seeing himself as the only one. More importantly, he began offering his own support. The sessions weren't therapy, they were community. Outside that circle, he reached out to a few old friends, but this time with genuine interest. He wasn't calling to vent. He asked about their lives. Slowly, authentic connection returned. The real proof came when a man from his group called during a bad week. Mark stayed on the phone for an hour, just listening, no fixing, no judgment. When he hung up, he realized something profound. He was no longer just receiving strength, he was giving it. That's when he knew he had become the kind of man others could lean on, not because he needed it back, but because he finally had enough within himself to share. Sign 7. He approaches new relationships with wholeness, not neediness. Few things reveal a man's post-divorce growth like how he dates again. The man who's still wounded dates to fill a void. He wants validation, escape, or proof that he's still desirable. Those relationships burn bright and die fast because they're built on need. The emotionally independent man doesn't seek rescue. He's already built a fulfilling life on his own. If he dates, it's not from emptiness, it's from curiosity. He's not looking for completion, just connection. Mark's early attempts at dating were disasters. He overtexted, overshared, and overanalyzed. He was chasing approval, not companionship. Eventually, he recognized the pattern and quit dating entirely. He spent a year alone, focused on his son, his health, his hobbies, his new friendships. He learned to enjoy his own company again. When he finally returned to dating, everything felt different. He wasn't performing, he wasn't searching for the one, he was simply meeting people, open, calm, grounded. That's when he met Jennifer. She was divorced too, independent, self-sufficient. Their first few dates were light, easy, honest. He found himself listening more, not trying to impress her. He didn't need to. Months later, when they had their first argument, he noticed something remarkable. He didn't panic. He didn't retreat or attack. He simply listened, spoke his truth, and let silence do the rest. He realized that love, this time, wasn't about holding on tightly. It was about two complete people walking side by side together by choice, not by dependence. He knew that even if it ended, he'd still be okay. That kind of calm confidence isn't arrogance, it's peace. Sign 8. He navigates practical life with proactive responsibility. Divorce doesn't just test your heart, it tests your discipline. Bills, lawyers, custody, repairs, and deadlines can bury a man who's emotionally unsteady. The reactive man avoids problems until they explode. The independent man faces them head on. For Mark, the practical side of divorce was a battlefield. His wife had handled the finances, so when he suddenly found himself budgeting alone, he froze. Unopened mail piled up. Missed payments built stress. Every new expense felt like a personal failure. The breakthrough came the day he sat down and decided to face everything. He sorted his bills, built a budget, and met with a financial advisor. The numbers scared him, but facing them gave him power. Clarity replaced anxiety. He automated payments, set reminders, created structure. Slowly, order replaced chaos. Co-parenting was the next hurdle. Their text exchanges had been emotional minefields, full of resentment. So he suggested a co-parenting app. Clear schedules, shared notes, minimal conflict. Their communication became professional, focused on their son. The real test came when his car broke down, needing an expensive repair he hadn't planned for. Old Mark would have spiraled into frustration and self-pity. The new Mark paused, checked his budget, adjusted, and made a plan. Problem solved, no drama. He had become the calm leader of his own life again. That's what true independence looks like. Not perfection, but steady competence. The ability to meet life's problems with clarity instead of crisis. The after state. If you met Mark today, you wouldn't see a divorced man. You'd see a man calm, grounded, quietly powerful. He still has hard days, sure, but his emotions no longer define him. His life isn't a reaction to the past, it's an expression of who he is now. His home tells the story. It's not a museum of memories, but a living reflection of his growth. The furniture he built, the photos of hiking trips with his son, the quiet order of a man who lives intentionally. Weekends aren't empty anymore. Sometimes he's in the mountains, sometimes in his workshop, sometimes just sitting on the porch watching the sunrise. Solitude, once painful, has become peace. His relationship with Jennifer is steady, real, built on respect, not rescue. They laugh easily, argue honestly, and part ways at night knowing that love doesn't mean ownership. And when he speaks about his ex-wife, there's no venom, no bitterness, just a quiet acceptance and even gratitude. He understands now that pain was his teacher, and the end of his marriage wasn't the death of his identity, it was the birth of it. He didn't rebuild the same man he was before, he forged someone entirely new. A man not defined by what he lost, but by what he's learned. Conclusion: the journey from divorce to emotional independence isn't a straight path. It's 1,000 small decisions to pause instead of react, to reflect instead of blame, to build instead of escape. It's about accepting your past so it no longer chains you, rebuilding your worth from within, mastering your emotions instead of being mastered by them, taking care of yourself, body, mind, and spirit, like a man who finally understands his own value. It's about creating a life that feels meaningful on your terms, surrounded by people who add depth instead of distraction. Emotional independence isn't detachment, it's clarity. It's knowing that love, peace, and purpose don't come from others. They start with you. Call to action. Every man's recovery looks different. Maybe you're still in the storm, or maybe you're just starting to feel the calm after it. Either way, you're on your way. So let me ask you, what's been the hardest part of this process for you? And what's one small sign of progress you've noticed, even if it's just that you didn't break this time? Share your thoughts below. Your story might be the spark that gives another man the strength to keep going. And if this video spoke to you, subscribe and hit that bell. Our next one, Rebuilding Your Social Life from Scratch After 40, will help you take the next step from isolation to connection. You've got this. The hardest part isn't over, it's behind you. Now comes the part where you start to live,